Okay, y'all. So we got some news and some rumor news about Roman Reigns' return. So the breaking news is Roman Reigns is set to return before SummerSlam per WrestleVotes. It's also expected that he will show up on WWE Raw instead of SmackDown. Now, I've always thought, since WWE has this Raw with Netflix deal, that Roman Reigns, Bianca, and Cody Rhodes will be moved to Raw. And the only reason I say that is because those three wrestlers are on SmackDown, but for Netflix on Raw, you have three SmackDown superstars as the face of Raw on Netflix. So, I'm not saying this is why the viewership is down on Raw, but if a person that doesn't really watch wrestling like that clicks on WWE Raw on Netflix and watch it for like the past, half a year or something like that, you're barely going to see Roman, you're barely going to see Cody, and you're barely going to see Bianca. Those aren't the Raw guys. So, however long this Raw on Netflix deal is, you want to give Netflix the best that you have, and you're really just running the same boring 15 people over and over again. I'm mind blown about that. I don't know why Bianca, Roman, and Cody aren't on Raw full time, at least for when this deal kicked off. It made no sense. But Roman returning before SummerSlam, I guess he has to. Roman posted a video talking about, people are mad at his schedule, and he's like, every day is full time for me because he has to work out and stuff. And he brings money to the company full time. Roman, every other superstar works out every day, and they still perform. Just go look at some of these interviews with Dolph Ziggler, Maven, any of them, Billy Gunn. When they got to their hotel with the gym, they worked out at the hotel at the gym, or they found a gym and went work out. They're working out every day. Every WWE superstar pretty much works out every day. They got to get that workout in. They got to stay in shape. Now, Roman, if WWE creative and writers have nothing for you and that's why you're part-time, okay, we can't do nothing about that. They don't want to write you in stories, that's fine. That's WWE's creative issue. But if you signed a contract pretty much saying that you're going to be a super part-timer, then that's on you. And people have the right to judge that. We have the right to judge the creative, and we have the right to look at your contract and say, hey, Roman wants to be super part-time-ish, then, you're going to get, critique for that. Now, you were champion for 4 years. You had a great run, and then, they're starting to book you into oblivion. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you're still the king of WWE right now, but man, like we can't you can't get mad at that. And honestly, if you didn't return for SummerSlam, you won't be missed. Like, honestly, what are you gonna do for SummerSlam? If you return before SummerSlam and you get into a good feud, a good creative story that we could rock with, that'll be great. But the way Triple H and creative have been going, man, like, honestly, me personally, I don't want you to come back until WWE actually has a good storyline for you. Right now, you got John Cena and R-Truth, CM Punk. You got that kind of wrapping up. You got Seth and his little faction, Jacob and Solo. Naomi and her Money in the Bank stuff. They have some stuff going on, and honestly, I don't know where Roman Reigns fits into all of this. I don't know. That's why until they have a flushed out good story to put Roman in, honestly, I would prefer Roman to come back at the Royal Rumble. Let all of this stuff play out and just come back at the Royal Rumble, man. Win the Royal Rumble, and then that'll get some heads turning. We don't really need him for SummerSlam. We honestly don't. They're just gonna throw Roman into a dumb feud that doesn't make sense, and it's gonna be underwhelming. Like, we don't want that. But that's the video for today, man. Roman Reigns is supposedly set to return before SummerSlam on Raw. Hopefully that rumor is not true. Peace.